Many communities here in the Adirondacks have been planning for this eclipse for the past several years. Tupper Lake is one of them, hosting what they're calling Totality in Tupper. The Adirondack Sky Center Observatory is teaming up with the Wild Center. Astronomers and other experts will be putting on demonstrations and viewing events all weekend and on the day of the eclipse at the L.P. Quinn Elementary School and next door at the Wild Center. And we're joined now by Gib Brown, who many of you will recognize from his many years as a meteorologist with WPTZ television here in Plattsburgh. 37 years?
37 years.
37. You're also a retired teacher. You taught most recently at Clinton Community College, more than 40 years teaching science at Peru and Ausable Valley School Districts. And for the past 15 years, you've been on the board of the Adirondack Sky Center Observatory in Tupper Lake. And that's why you're here with us today. Welcome. It's nice to see you.
Thank you for having me over.
So we're hearing so much about this total solar eclipse coming up on Monday. Why is it such a big deal? Why so special and significant?
Well, there's a couple of reasons for that. Number one, this is a total eclipse of the sun, which means that things are going to be very different for a very short period of time when we reach totality. Very different. The other thing is that they're so exceedingly rare. The last total eclipse that we could see in northern New York was back in the year 1349, and that's 150 years before Columbus, you know?
1349, seriously?
Yep, and if you miss this one, you'll have to wait around until 2399 for the next one.
So no wonder we're hearing this. This is a once-in-a-lifetime event.
Exactly. Not that it's the only solar eclipse. We'll have one in another 20 years in the United States, but not anywhere near here. You're going to have to travel for that one.
And for this one, much of the country will have a partial eclipse. The whole U.S. will have a partial eclipse.
Yes.
But for us, we're in that swath that runs from Texas up over Cleveland and Buffalo and Rochester.
Comes into Mexico and then goes into Texas and then goes up.
The swath is about 100?
100 miles wide, exactly. When you say swath, that's the point of totality. So here's the sun, we've got the moon, and we've got the earth. Now, when the moon gets in front of the sun, it creates this little tiny shadow, and as the earth turns, it creates a shadow some thousands of miles long, but only about 100 miles wide. The opposite effect of that is, of course, the lunar eclipse, which we had last Monday. And that's because the Earth's shadow is so much larger that it completely covers the moon, and it's seen by many, many people all over the world. Now, the other thing is that the moon doesn't line up properly with the sun most of the time. It's kind of on an angle. So most of the time the sun either misses us, and sometimes the moon is too small to really be viewed, blocking the entire sun. We call that an annular eclipse, where the main total eclipse shadow is not going to reach the Earth. So it's a very complicated thing. And that's what makes it so darn rare.
That's where you can see the moon, but you can still see a ring of fire around the sun.
That's the annular, yes.
That doesn't quite cover it.
Now, we had one of those back in 1994. And I remember having my students building these boxes where they could safely view the eclipse, and we had a lot of fun.
And you've been doing that now. You've been visiting a number of classrooms, talking about this rare total solar eclipse, and helping students build their serial box viewers, pinhole viewers.
Yeah, and of course at the Sky Center, we are trying to emphasize the safety part of this thing. If you look at a total eclipse or during the frame of a total eclipse, you can damage your eyes. You've probably seen these glasses,
the safety glasses,
pretty much everywhere. Okay. A couple things about these is, yes, they are safe. And you can put them over your camera if you want to take a picture. I would put definitely the lens over the camera. And then what you want to do is when you put them on, don't look up at the sun and say, oh, I got to put my glasses on. You want to look down, put them on, and then look up from there. That way you won't have any damage.
Because you could do serious damage.
Yes, you can create burn spots in the back of your retina. And it should be avoided at all costs. So, and of course, the safest way to do it, and we've been doing these in the schools pretty much all week long. This is a eclipse viewer, and what it is a serial box They call that pinhole camera sometimes. And what you do is you create this little hole on one side, and then you cover the other side, there's another hole here, with aluminum foil, and then you put a little hole in the aluminum foil, and then when you look at the sun, you'll see that little spot right in the bottom of the box. And then when you see that, you'll see the actual eclipse going right across, the moon going right across the sun.
With this total solar eclipse, we're going to be here in the Adirondacks experiencing it for, what, about 3.5 minutes?
About 3.5 minutes, which is about a minute and change longer than the 2017 eclipse. And that was, I mean, that was an unbelievable event. I mean, thousands and thousands of people traveled to the path of totality, and
which went through the Carolinas and a number of other states.
Yep.
Not here, nowhere near us up here in the Adirondacks back in 2017.
Yeah, no, and again, this one will be a little bit longer, a little bit wider, and you know, we are expecting thousands of people coming to see this thing from all directions. I know there's a contingency from Montreal coming down, because even though they're going to have a good slice of the eclipse, they're going to come down to totality. So both ways, north and south. On the north way, should be a very, very busy time.
Going to be a lot of company. And where is the best place to view it? Which direction? Looking south, southwest?
Here's the easiest way to do it. If you go out today and you look at the sun at 3:30 in the afternoon, that wherever that sun is now, it'll practically be in the same spot, you know, for the eclipse.
Events being held in many communities. Town of Plattsburgh, City of Plattsburgh holding events up here, Lake Placid, at a number of Olympic venues, the Speed Skating Oval, the ski jumps, Whiteface Mountain, John Brown Farm, and the Cascade Welcome Center in North Elba. You also have a big event going on in Tupper Lake.
Tupper Lake, yeah, with a 3-day event, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And we have all kinds of things covered. We've got demonstrations, we've got activities for kids, we've got specially trained astronomers with the right equipment so that you can safely look through a telescope and see what's going on. We've bands, food trucks, I think fireworks too on one of the nights. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
So this is happening at L.P. Quinn Elementary School, which is right next door to the Wild Center, and they've teamed up. Really, the whole village has teamed up for this Totality in Tupper, it's called.
Yeah, and our big facility, our main facility, is on Little Wolf Pond. We have a property up there, and that's where the roll-on, roll-off roof assembly is. And if you register, you can go there and view the eclipse at that site as well. So we'll have telescopes pretty much everywhere with the safety filters on them, so nobody's going to get harmed in any way.
And the observatory itself is actually closed. It's for special guests to come there, because it's so small it would be overrun by the public if you just opened it to all the folks who are going to be there. So who's going to be at the observatory, and what are they going to be doing there?
Okay, at the observatory, we're going to have our specialists. Eileen O'Donoghue is she's a professor of astronomy, and she's probably going to be leading the more sophisticated talks about the eclipse.
And will they be doing any specific experiments there?
They'll be measuring the photo voltage, or changes in the voltage, looking at the light. They'll be doing a lot of different aspects, including we're going to be doing temperature changes as well. Temperature changes could be as much as 10 degrees over a short, few minutes of time.
And are scientists and researchers and astronomers so excited, because are they still learning about eclipses and what happens during an eclipse?
Absolutely. We have the Parker telescope parked around the sun right now, and some of the images that it is taking and the endurance that it's showing, it's incredible. When we get to the totality, one of the things that we'll be able to do is, number one, take our glasses off. And then for about 3 minutes or so, you'll be able to hopefully see the atmosphere of the sun, which will be glowing in kind of a white streamers all the way around the disk of the sun. The other thing we're hoping to see are these solar prominences. Now, the sun is a very active place, a very stormy place, but not in the kind of storms that we have. These are high energy storms, and they explode, and these explosions throw materials many, many Earth diameters away from the surface of the sun. And sometimes these streamers, these prominences, show up during an eclipse as well. And because the sun is at a very energetic state right now, it's had a lot of storminess, and we've had a lot of reports of northern lights as an evidence of that. It's a very stormy time on the sun, and we're hoping to be able to see some of these solar prominences shooting off the sides of the sun.
And this whole event, we talked about the 3.5 minutes or so, but the whole event will start around 2 o'clock and go to about 4:30 when you'll start to see the partial eclipse of the sun.
Yeah, exactly. I've written some times down here. The actual start of the eclipse will be 2:12 in the afternoon. The beginning of totality will be at 3:24. And then that'll last for about 3.5 minutes. And then it'll get out of totality at about 3:27, and then the partial eclipse, the very end of the eclipse, will occur at 4:36. I couldn't keep those numbers in my brain.
You got to jot them down. And we talked a little about the observatory. What are some of the events that'll be going on at L.P. Quinn Elementary School for folks? Okay,
all kinds of things. Telescopes for sure. In the classroom areas, we're going to be doing demonstrations of a variety of things. I would suggest you go to our website, Adirondack Sky Center.org. And you'll have all the latest information there, including a pop clock of how many more hours it is until the eclipse. But the bottom line is we've got a group of dozens of people coming in from other areas, and they're going to be doing their specialty areas. I'm going to take this little technique here, and they're not only going to use it to watch the sun safely, but they're going to measure the diameter of the sun just by using this box.
And of course, you know, we have to ask, being the meteorologist, the forecast right now, and we're taping this a little earlier in the week, so we're still a few days out. We just had this big snowstorm, so yes, the weather is totally unpredictable in April.
The good news is it's like Mother Nature kind of clearing her throat. This storm system will develop. It'll continue to move away from us.
Yeah.
But my main concern is, all right, if we have a totally clear day and the temperature goes up into the 50s as is predicted,
yeah,
you got a lot of snow on the ground, you got a lot of water, and of course sunlight, evaporation, condensation, clouds. I'm very worried about the cloud forecast. Right now it's looking pretty good with high pressure suppressing the lifting of that air,
yeah,
but at the same time there's going to be a lot of moisture there for sure. I think we're looking good with high pressure. What that does is it sends air down toward the ground, and it kind of suppresses cloud development. And so fingers crossed, Monday is going to be a nice sunny day. What I'm telling people is just get out there and enjoy it. I mean, because this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Don't waste time with the camera. Don't waste time Facebooking everybody and pictures. Just enjoy it. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. There will be thousands and thousands of pictures taken by professionals of the event. You can always copy some of those. But, just get out there and enjoy it. Watch the temperature change. That's going to be really cool. Watch the skies if there are clouds.
And we heard there are several planets that may be visible at the point of total darkness.
You're right, and possibly a comet, the so-called Devil comet with the two tails. If you go go to totality and the sky turns really dark, you'll see the constellations. There are 7 planets visible.
Yeah, so a long time until the next one. So truly enjoy this one.
Yes.
Be careful, be safe, but get out and participate, and we'll keep our fingers crossed for as little cloud cover as possible. Gib Brown, thank you very much for taking the time to be with us. We so appreciate it.
Okay.